Can you also elaborate on some of the more practical ways that you coped with this, rather than, expressing that you are feeling these feelings? How did you actually cope with it?
I think there's kind of two like aspects to it. The first is like your support network and developing your support network. And the second is like actually finding like physical, tangible things that you can do for yourself. And I think those physical, tangible things are different for everyone, but developing your support network will help you find those. Um, so like for me, some of my like physical, tangible things are like mainly like distraction techniques, like or grounding techniques. So I'll do things like take a cold shower if I'm feeling bad, um, or play Minecraft, or like I really like wire wrapping jewelry. It like random stuff that like is kind of specific to me, but like keeps me in my senses and kind of keeps me like physically here and physically present in the moment. Um, but I think the like most important thing that has helped me, that has been tangible steps that I've taken, have been just developing my support network. And so, I'm lucky in that I have the resources to access therapy. And, you know, there are different ways to do that for different people at different like levels of means. But um, having a therapist and having someone who like I check in with weekly to just kind of make sure that I'm actually like figuring out, or I'm continuously moving forward and developing my skills and strategies, has been really helpful. I mentioned medication, but and that's something that is an individual choice, but for me that has been super helpful as well. Finding medications that work for me and that like you know get me lay the foundation so that I can more easily apply the skills that I'm learning and the skills that I'm developing. Um, and then like journaling and introspection that allows me to kind of process my own thoughts the way I would in therapy, but on my own, has been um, super helpful. And it's like a hard thing to pick up, but like definitely I feel so much better after journaling when I'm in, when I'm really not feeling well. And then also just being more open and honest with my friends and family, not feeling like I have to pretend to like, always be on my top game or whatever, but just kind of like opening, creating space to have like real conversations with family members and friends, even if it's hard or even if I don't feel like I'm fully being understood. Um, just having those respectful conversations kind of does the same thing as journaling, where you're forced to kind of think about yourself and think about how you phrase or how you can verbalize what you're feeling. And that is kind of a really good technique for figuring out then how to manage those feelings. So.
That was I feel like I learned a lot from that. Thank you, Novak. Um, I felt like for me, I really used quarantine to rebuild my relationship with exercise and movement. I don't even like to say exercise because I feel like that's associated with like diet talk, but like more movement, and intuitive movement. And so I felt like at the beginning of quarantine, I like worked out because I felt like I had to, like I had sports, but like I was kind of just going through the motions, like wasn't fun. And so when you're home all day, like the one thing that I tried to do was like get outside, like go on hikes with like my sister. My sister and I would go on like weekly, like Sunday morning hikes. That was like our tradition. I would do yoga. Like I I don't know, like my grandpa would come over and the two of us would do yoga, like socially distant, like random things like that. It's been fun. And so I feel like exercise and movement has really allowed me to stay positive and stay optimistic. And it's also like brought me closer to my loved ones. Yeah, I would say that's probably like my top thing.
I would agree with what Samina said a lot with like just like I guess yeah. So my sister came home from college and I don't always see her that often, and I think what was really great for quarantine was bonding with her again and just like being able to do things with her that I haven't been able to do. Like she taught me a lot of things that I don't know, I wouldn't she like taught me study skills, she taught me how to do things that like I wouldn't have motivation to do myself, especially not in quarantine. But also just catching up with myself and like, getting caught up. Like I think therapy meds are for me at least like a great resource for me. But I think there's also a point where I need to like catch up and like be like what's gonna help me besides that? Like what can I do? So I run or I sing or I, play with my dog. Like something that would actually distract me or keep me motivated, something that like when I wake up, I have some kind of goal that's not super unrealistic or something that would keep me wanting to keep going versus like feeling like I'm down and I don't want to do anything and just stay in bed because there are going to be those days and I have had those days. But it's important to just remember that like we're not alone in this and that we need to find those skills that or those habits and coping mechanisms that will keep us going individually, whatever that is for you.
For me, it was something that really helped me is opening up to others versus bottling up what I'm feeling. So I reached out to one of my best friends and we check in every week. So we hop on FaceTime and we just tell each other about how our week went and how we're feeling. And I think it's really important when you're having conversations to be honest. So instead of just saying, "How was your week?" It was good, but how was your week? Like how was it actually? Like what were the good parts? What were the bad parts? Like just being honest with the other person so you can help each other and you can help yourself. And then also, like Novak said, finding the little things that make you happy, just to have some time to yourself to recharge. So this past week was really hard for me. I made banana bread yesterday, which really helped. On Sundays, just to get ready for the week, I always do like an hour of just like skincare. So I'm gonna do a face mask tonight while I do my nails before school this week. So just little things that kind of relax you and help you kind of cope.